Ilmari from Finland. Pranam Acharya ji. There has been a lot of talk on veganism in the MAC group lately. I've also watched many of your videos relating to this topic. I would like to know your take on teaching veganism to children. I know that veganism has to be a thing of the heart, and that just forcing dry ideology isn't good for anyone. As a vegan parent, I'm not concerned about my ability to show compassion, but rather about the choices I sometimes have to make for the sake of my daughter's physical well-being. She's very choosy towards vegan protein sources, and that's why we sometimes have to buy dairy products for her. Every time I have to do that, I feel bad. So there is this conflict between my responsibility to provide her with nutritionally balanced diet and with my heartfelt refusal to take part in the exploitation of other living beings. I wonder if there is any right or wrong in this. Thank you for your guidance, Ilmari. Ilmari, we are neither prakritic beings nor do we live in truthfully. If you look at birds and animals in the jungle, they live totally by prakriti. If you look at saints, they live totally by the heart. In the industrialized world, man lives neither as a prakritic being and nor as a being of truth. We live by the mind. We live by the intellect. The intellect has created all these problems that we are facing. Veganism is a response to the problems created by intellect. We don't have to teach veganism to animals, neither do we have to teach veganism to saints. Animals don't need veganism. Saints too don't need veganism. Man in this modern, postmodern world needs veganism. The man who is a creation of his intellect needs this veganism. If you look at man today, he is neither a creation of the jungle, nor is he a creation of God. He is a creation of his own mind. Majorly. If you look at him very closely, then you will realize, oh, he is similar to the ones who live in the jungle. And you will have to look at 1 million human beings to come across a few who will make you realize that man probably came from God. If you look at the bulk of human beings from a distance, you will neither feel that they come from jungle, nor would you feel that they come from God. Man comes neither from jungle nor from God. Today's man comes from the factory. We are products of our intellect. We are products of the human factory. And our problems, I said, too, are problems arising from the human intellect. But that has become our center. We will operate from our center, won't we? Intellect is the center of today's man. If that be so, why not use the same intellect in a godly way? If intellect is what we are identified with, why not surrender this same intellect to the service of God? Why not, for example, use the intellect to create sources of vitamin B12 and proteins and many other vitamins and minerals that are not exploitative towards animals? If you say that you must provide your daughter with a protein-rich diet, why does the protein have to come from dairy? When everything in your life is anyway factory produced, why not use factory produced protein as well? People say, oh, but that would be unnatural. Hello, if you want to be fully natural, then live on the trees. Is it natural to live in houses? Is it natural to wear clothes? Is it natural to go to schools? By nature you mean Prakriti, right? Do all these things happen in the jungle? But when you live in the house, then you do not say, oh, it is unnatural. When you live in the house, do you say it is unnatural, I will not do it? Now, man has come out of the jungle. He is anyway no more Prakritik. His center is not Prakriti, neither is his center Atma. His center is Buddhi. It's a very strange situation that man is in. What is the center of an animal? What is the center of the saint? What is the center of today's man? So use this same Buddhi in the service of truth. You live in an industrialized, heavily industrialized Western country, Ilmari. How is it not possible to have artificial sources of vitamin C, D, A, B, B12? How is it not possible to manufacture proteins just as you manufacture everything else? Why is it necessary that the protein molecule must come from an animal's body? Why is it necessary? On one hand, we pride ourselves in factory producing everything. Can't we factory produce protein? Must you kill to have protein? Some people even say veganism is unnatural, and their biggest argument is vitamin B12. They say this vitamin can come only from an animal source, and human body requires this. So this is the proof that veganism is unnatural. They mean aprakritik. I agree. Veganism is not prakritik, but then why must it be prakritik? Is man prakritik anymore? If you want to be prakritik, then I say go back and live in the jungle. You have come out of the jungle. Is marriage prakritik? Are there marriages in the jungle? So marriage is the first thing that is unnatural. Is language prakritik? Are there languages in the jungle? Are there clothes in the jungle? Are there countries in the jungle? Are there constitutions in the jungle? Are there vehicles in the jungle? But then to all these things you do not say, oh, these are unnatural. To all these things you are happily amenable. But the moment it is discovered that vitamin B12 cannot be found except in an animal source, you rejoice and say, you see, now veganism is ticked off because it is proven that veganism is unnatural. Yes, of course, veganism is unnatural. And just as you choose so many things that are unnatural, choose veganism as well. Do not choose it because it is natural. Do not choose it. Choose it because it is coming from compassion. Do not choose it because of Prakriti. Choose it because of Karuna. And these are two very, very different arguments. There are the naturalists who say that you should choose what is there in Prakriti. I strongly deny that. I am not a naturalist. I do not say that you should live as Prakriti lives. In Prakriti, all creatures, or rather most creatures except the nocturnal ones, sleep at night. I conduct my sessions after midnight. Am I Prakritic? Am I? So I am not at all a supporter of Prakriti. In fact, all spirituality is about transcending Prakriti. So I am not a naturalist. I stand for transcendence of physical nature, which you call as Prakriti. But in transcending Prakriti, I do not want to stop at buddhi or intellect. In transcending Prakriti, I want to reach the Atma or truth where compassion resides. Get the difference, please. Usually people think that spirituality and naturalism go together. They think, if you are a spiritual man, then you would love fruits and all kinds of animal products. And these two often are seen together. The moment a person picks up some spiritual text, he also starts eating more raw food. It is often a combination. It is seen that spiritual people go to the jungles. So somehow a correlation has been established in the mind that spirituality and Prakriti go together. No, wrong. Spirituality is transcendence of Prakriti. And when you transcend Prakriti, then you can really love Prakriti. It is a thing that you have to appreciate. Those who do not transcend Prakriti remain attached with Prakriti. And if you remain attached with Prakriti, you will consume Prakriti. For example, if you remain attached to your own body, then you will kill somebody's body to feed your own body. If you are attached to Prakriti, you will rape Prakriti. But the saint goes beyond Prakriti. From there, he can just lovingly witness and watch Prakriti. Then he doesn't interfere with Prakriti or consume it or rape it. Are you getting it? In fact, a lot of damage to Prakriti is being brought about by Prakriti lovers as well. So they would say, we require a particular type of fruit. Now for that type of fruit to be grown, all other species of trees are being cut off. If you are standing at the intellect ilmari as you are, use the intellect. Find out where in the world, from where in the world can you get all nutrients that are not animal sourced. Let industries come up. If it is required that artificial meat be made in order to satisfy people who necessarily want to have meat, I am all in favor of more technological research to produce more artificial meat that closely resembles animal meat. This is compassion, because this is going to save billions of animals every day. Let technological prowess be used to produce artificial meat, because the fellow is now addicted to meat. He will eat meat, and if you will not give him artificial meat, he will slaughter the animal. So use intellect, use research, use technology. What is all your scientific knowledge for? You can't even produce a protein molecule in the factory. And then we sing so much about man's scientific advancements. Are you getting it? Man cannot go back to the jungle. So even if you want to protect the jungle now, intellect is the answer. Man can neither go back to the jungle, nor can man give up the intellect. But the jungle has to be protected. So the intellect is the answer. Use the mind. Use the mind in service to the truth. If intellect is what you have, devote the intellect to the service of the truth. To the service of compassion.